tried to move my rifle behind me to put it behind me so the police didn't see me as a threat when I tried to turn myself in. I continue to walk, and then I walk towards the window of the sedan, the police cruiser sedan, I don't know what they're called, and I tell the officer, I just shot somebody, and the officer says, get the back or you're gonna get pepper sprayed, go home, go home, go home.
大家欢迎回来，我是海洋。我们上一期讲到里滕豪斯并没有被警察逮捕，而是直接回到了家里啊。但是在第二天凌晨呢，也就是8月26号啊，里滕豪斯去警察局自首了，立即被逮捕，并且根据这个威斯康星州的法律啊，因为当时他已经是17岁，所以将被视为成人进行起诉。该起诉列出了6项刑事指控啊，其中包括1级过失杀人罪，这是因为他杀了罗森鲍姆；1级肆意危害安全罪，1级故意杀人罪是因为枪杀了胡贝尔；1级杀人未遂是因为打中了克鲁伊兹的胳膊。未满18岁持有危险武器罪，但是呢，这个未满18岁持有危险武器罪呢，后来在庭审时被法官施洛德驳回了。理由呢是里滕豪斯的辩护律师指出了该州法律是允许未成年人持有16寸枪管以上的这个长枪啊，因为威斯康星州的法律呢含糊不清，可以解释为呢仅限制未成年人持有短管步枪或者是手枪啊。但是里滕豪斯的步枪呢，当时是持有的是史密斯威森的 MNP-15， 是16寸枪管的步枪，所以说这是这个州法律允许未成年人可以持有的最小枪管的长度。在2020年11月20号，里滕豪斯从拘留所获释啊，并支付了200万美金的保释金。Holy crap！ 我也不知道他在哪凑的这么多钱啊，我也不太清楚。里滕豪斯获释是因为呢，他的家人和律师呢对他枪杀2名男子打伤1人提出了反对，但是呢，控方这时提出要求更高的保释金啊，并担心里滕豪斯可能会逃跑。里滕豪斯的律师表示，保证不会发生这种情况，我们坚信自己是正当防卫。所以呢，里滕豪斯在2021年1月5号呢，对所有指控表示不认罪。在2021年10月25号正式庭审前期的听证上啊，这个法官布鲁斯·施洛德定义了被告方和控诉方双方在法庭上可以和不可以接受的证词有哪些啊？立了几项规则比如说呢，里滕豪斯射杀的人在法庭上不能称为受害者，并且呢，如果辩护律师能够证明这些人参与了纵火或者是抢劫行为，那么辩护律师呢就可以在法庭上称作这几个人为纵火犯或者是抢劫犯。对于这点呢，我觉得不能成为受害者，这个其实是可以说得通啊，因为呢毕竟是陪审团庭审啊。如果在没有判决之前就把他们叫做受害者的话，那么在法庭上和陪审团的眼里会产生一种偏见啊，导致呢陪审团预设了哪些人受到了冤屈，从而严重影响了陪审团自己独自的判断能力。关于呢法官设立的这个规矩呢，在一会儿我会给大家看一下几个庭审的片段啊，是检察官违反了这个规则，法官发火的几个片段。我们先来看一下里滕豪斯的辩护律师在庭上对他的直接询问关于枪杀胡贝尔和克鲁伊兹的证词是怎样的。
As I'm on the ground, there are people around me. I don't recall how many, but I remember moving my rifle in their direction and they back off besides one person.
Okay. When you noticed people by you, you said you moved your rifle in their direction?
Yes.
Did that individual keep coming?
The last person did.
Okay. The people that stopped, what did you do to them?
Nothing.
Okay. And you're saying the last person in that group continued to come at you?
Yes.
And describe what happened.
The last person, I don't know his name. I don't think he was ever identified. Jumps at me he was wearing boots, I believe, and as he's running at me and jumping, as his boot is making contact with my face, I fired 2 shots at him.
Why did you shoot at him?
I thought if I were to be knocked out, or He would have stomped my face in if I didn't fire.
As a result of being kicked in the face, what happens?
Mr. Huber, immediately after I'm kicked in the face, runs up as I'm sitting up to try to get up and get to the police. I'm on my back, and Mr. Huber runs up. As I'm getting up, he strikes me in the neck with his skateboard a second time.
Then what happens?
He grabs my gun, and I can feel it pulling away from me, and I can feel the strap starting to come off my body.
And what do you do then?
I fire one shot.
And after you fire, striking, we now know Mr. Huber, what do you do?
I lower my weapon, and I see Mr. Grosskreutz with his hands up.
And he is standing, you said? How close to you?
What I remember is our feet were touching, what it seemed like.
Okay. And you do what?
My rifle is down, his hands are up, his pistol is in his hand, and then Mr. Grosskreutz looks at me, and that's when Mr. Grosskreutz brings his arm down like this, like his arm is like that with me on the ground, and his pistol is pointed at me, and that's when I shoot him.
关于胡贝尔被射杀呢，我们有了比较直观的录像可以看到啊，这个就是很能证明里滕豪斯是否是正当防卫的非常有力的证据吧。首先呢，里滕豪斯还是一样向前方跑，胡贝尔等人呢从后面追上。里滕豪斯跌倒了之后呢，胡贝尔拿着滑板要去砸里滕豪斯啊，因为里滕豪斯在倒地的情况下是属于一个非常劣势的一个位置啊。这种情况下呢，胡贝尔跑去攻击里滕豪斯，里滕豪斯已经是没有退路了。如果里滕豪斯当时什么都不做的话，人群很有可能一拥而上来加入殴打他的行为中。如果被群殴的话，估计也是凶多吉少。并且呢，胡贝尔还有一个很明显的抓枪的动作啊，又是抓枪。这个时候里滕豪斯才开枪。紧接着克鲁伊兹也出现在了里滕豪斯的面前，他手里是拿着一把枪的。但是呢，当克鲁伊兹双手举起来时呢，里滕豪斯并没有开枪啊。里滕豪斯描述到，当克鲁伊兹将他的手枪冲向自己的时候呢，自己才开枪打中了克鲁伊兹的胳膊。这部分细节呢，我们先留个悬念，一会儿再讲啊。一会儿我们可以听一听克鲁伊兹在庭审上的证词。我们先来看一下里滕豪斯的交叉询问啊，因为呢，庭审是从11月2号开始的，在第一个星期里呢，里滕豪斯并没有接受检察官的交叉询问。只接受了辩护律师的直接询问。11月10号的这一天呢，就是在庭审的第2个星期，里滕豪斯接受了检察官宾格的交叉询问。我们一起来看一下。
Good morning, Mr. Rittenhouse.
Good morning.
Everybody that you shot at that night, you intended to kill, correct?
I didn't intend to kill them. I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
By killing them.
I did what I had to do to stop the person who was attacking me.
By killing them.
2 of them passed away, but I stopped the threat from attacking me.
By using deadly force.
I used deadly force.
That you knew was going to kill.
I didn't know if it was going to kill them, but I used deadly force to stop the threat that was attacking me.
You intentionally used deadly force against Joseph Rosenbaum, correct?
Yes.
You intentionally used deadly force against the man who came and tried to kick you in the face,
yes.
Correct? You intentionally used deadly force against Anthony Huber, correct?
Yes.
You intentionally used deadly force against Gage Grosskreutz, correct?
Yes.
With regard to Joseph Rosenbaum, you fired 4 shots at him, correct?
Yes.
You intended to kill him, correct?
I didn't intend to kill him. I intended to stop the person who was attacking me and trying to steal my gun.
Since August 25th, 2020, this is the first time that you have told your story.
Object to this.
Sustained.
Since August 25th, 2020, you've had the benefit of watching countless videos of your actions that night, correct?
I've seen certain videos, not all of them. I've seen the majority of them actually here during the trial.
You've also had the opportunity to read articles. People have written interviews, things like that about what happened that night, correct?
I do my best to avoid what people write on the internet. A majority of it's not true.
You have also sat here through 8 days of trial, correct?
Yes.
And you've had the opportunity to watch all of the videos that have been
Yes.
played in this trial?
Yes.
Sir, if you could please let me finish my question before answering, and I will do my best to let you finish your answer before I go on to the next question. Fair?
Yes.
You have also had the opportunity to listen to the testimony of all 30-some witnesses that have testified in this trial so far, correct?
Yes.
And after all of that, now you are telling us your side of the story, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to ask you folks to go in the library for just a second. Please don't talk about the case.
好，在这里我给大家讲解一下啊，检察官为什么问了不适当的问题？因为呢，庭审是从11月2号开始的。现在里滕豪斯接受检察官的交叉询问是在11月10号。之前呢都是只接受了自己辩护律师的直接询问，并没有接受检察官的交叉询问。所以检察官拿这点做文章说里滕豪斯之前之所以不接受交叉询问，是因为他想先看看其他人这几天的证实之后，再决定出来发言，这样给了里滕豪斯足够的时间去想怎么去对证实啊。但是呢，这明显是里滕豪斯的美国宪法的第5修正案的权利啊，就是有权保持沉默。所以检察官无权也不应该对此次事件做任何的评论，并且里滕豪斯之前呢选择沉默是完全正当的啊。法官知道检察官这样做是不被允许的，但是呢陪审团们并不知道啊。况且这个庭审是陪审团庭审，陪审团是什么人组成的呢？就是来自各行各业的普通人啊。他们大多没有这些法律知识。检察官这样说啊，会影响到陪审团对里滕豪斯的行为做出判定上的影响，所以法官立即叫停啊，并且让陪审团先出去，他们好对此事进行讨论。
He's commenting on my client's right to remain silent.
No, Your Honor. I am making the point that after hearing everything in the case, now he's tailoring his story to what has already been introduced.
The problem is, this is a grave constitutional violation for you to talk about the defendant's silence. And that is, you're right. You're right on the borderline, and you may be over, but it better stop.
Understood.
This is, I can't think of the case, the initial case on it, but this is not permitted. All right, ask the jury to come in, please.
You'd agree with me that you were not allowed to use deadly force to protect that car source building, correct?
Yes.
You'd agree with me that you were not allowed to use deadly force to stop someone from smashing the windows of an unoccupied parked car, correct?
I don't think you could use deadly force for that.
You'd agree with me that you can't use deadly force to stop someone from lighting a metal dumpster on fire, correct?
Correct.
You'd agree with me that you can't use deadly force to stop someone who is about to start an unoccupied car on fire, correct?
Correct.
So you understand that there's a difference between using deadly force to protect yourself and using it to protect property, correct?
Yes.
And you'd agree with me that you're not allowed to use deadly force to protect property, correct?
Yes.
But yet you have previously indicated that you wished you had your AR-15 to protect someone's property, correct?
I'm going to ask you to go into the library.
好的，这里面检察官再次违规了啊！他提到了一个在枪击案发生的2个星期前呢，里滕豪斯看见零元购的人跑出商店，当时是他在视频中做出的一个评论的事情啊，我们一起来看一下。
One of them has a weapon. She hung up. Bro, I wish I had my I'd start shooting rounds at them.
这个视频呢是法官在庭审前规定中提到的，绝对是不可以提起的，因为呢这是一个跟此次枪击事件毫无关系的一个情景啊，没有关联，拿到法庭上只会严重误导陪审团的判断，所以我们来看一下法官是怎么说啊。
Again for a moment, please. Please don't talk about the case.
I see forgetting the court's rulings or attempting to provoke a mistrial on this matter. He knows he can't go into this, and he's asking the questions. I asked the court to strongly admonish him, and the next time it happens, I'll be asking for a mistrial with prejudice. He's an experienced attorney, and he knows better.
Mr. Finger?
First of all, Your Honor, this was the subject of a motion. I'm well aware of that, and the court left the door open.
For me, not for you.
My understanding of
You should have come and asked for reconsideration. You did on the one motion, and in fact, I granted your motion for reconsideration.
That was not our motion.
Excuse me. I did. I granted.
We did not move
That
to
was
reconsider.
their motion.
We have not filed
forgive
any
me.
motions to reconsider
Forgive
in this
me.
case.
That was their motion for reconsideration, which I denied. But I said I denied it, or I indicated a bias towards denial is what I did. Held it open with a bias towards denial. Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to.
May I respond?
Yes.
We filed an other acts motion on this exact issue because, in my mind, and I argued this, it is identical to what was going on the night of August 25th, in the sense that the defendant was using this exact same weapon. He was using it in a manner to try and protect property.
No, he wasn't.
Your Honor, with all due respect,
I'm not going to rehash the motion. That's absolutely untrue. No. Your arguments of record, my comments are of record, and why I ruled as I did is of record. There's nothing that I heard in this trial to suggest that anything's changed, even if you're correct in your assumption that you know more than I did at the time. You should have come to the court and say, I want to go into this. Why you would think that you could go into it without any advance notice to the court, I don't understand that. And as the defense is pointing out, you're an experienced trial lawyer, and this should not have been gone into.
检察官是一个非常有经验的人啊，他知道这个事情是不可以提起的，但是呢，他为什么冒着违规后可能会被无效审判的风险也要提起这个事情呢？想破坏法庭规则，趁机在陪审团的心理和预判上，哪怕是去影响那么一点点，这是为什么呢？因为检察官当时手里的牌已经不多了啊，他知道他的胜算不是很大了，他想要放手一搏。为什么是这样子呢？因为刚才我们埋了一个伏笔，是吧？就是在11月8号啊，这个案子中唯一还能过来作证的当事人克鲁伊兹，那个被里滕豪斯打中胳膊的人啊，接受了里滕豪斯辩护律师的交叉询问。我们一起来看一下发生了什么。
How far do you think you are away from him at that point, to the best of your ability?
I would say about there, between
Me and you?
you and I, correct.
So, 3 feet?
3 to 5.
Okay. Now, at that point, you have your hands up, right?
Yes, I do.
So your hands are up, and at that point, he has not fired at you, correct?
No, he is not.
Okay, it's going to be quick. You'd agree at this point, you are dropping your hand, you are loading your front foot, and you are moving toward Mr. Rittenhouse at that point, true?
Yes.
Okay. So when you were shot, can you bring up the photo? You'd agree, and now wait, how close do you think you are to him at that point?
3 feet. If it was 5 feet before, it would. So
tell me if I've got the lay of the land. At this point, you're holding a loaded, chambered Glock 27 in your right hand. Yes?
that is correct. Yes.
You are advancing on Mr. Rittenhouse, who is seated on his butt, right?
That is correct.
You're moving forward, and your right hand drops down with your gun. Your hands are no longer up, and now they're
the gun is pointed in the direction of Mr. Rittenhouse. Agree? I'll give you a picture. Maybe that'll help. So, Mr. Grosskreutz, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 67. That's a photo of you, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's Mr. Rittenhouse?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you'd agree your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And once your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, that's when he fires his gun. Yes?
No.
Sir, look, I don't want to... Does this look like right now your arm is being shot?
That looks like my bicep being vaporized, yes.
Okay.
在这里我想给大家解释一下啊，被步枪的子弹击中啊是非常可怕的啊，它不像这种手枪的子弹，它打中你的胳膊，它可能就直接打穿了，是吧？步枪的子弹呢，就这一小节上面的弹头呢，它击中你的胳膊之后呢，它会翻转在你的体内，这样会造成巨大的伤害啊。所以克鲁伊兹当时的胳膊被击中后呢，他是直接打爆了他整块的肱二头肌啊，是非常可怕的。
And it's being vaporized as you're pointing your gun directly at him. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were standing 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
这是本案的关键啊，唯一活着的当事人给出的本案有决定性的证词。可以看到，这是检察官最不想听到的证词啊。我们再看里滕豪斯的辩护律师理查德一脸轻松。再多说两句啊，有很多人觉得检察官宾格不是一个非常优秀的检察官，由于他的原因呢，让这个案子败掉了。我想替他说两句话吧，我觉得他还是非常认真负责的检察官，在他手里掌握的证据也就是这样的情况下啊，他已经做了他所有他能做的。他其实在交叉询问时呢，给里滕豪斯带来了巨大的压力啊，他真的是从视频录像中的一帧一帧来抠问题，寻找突破口。再加上呢，克鲁伊兹的证词可以说是完全让检察官陷入了非常尴尬的一个境遇啊，宾格已经是很难打赢这个案子了。还有就是克鲁伊兹啊，他的证词呢，当时一说出去，可以说把自己给卖了，他相当于是作证了里滕豪斯当时对他开枪就是正当防卫了。但是呢，克鲁伊兹还是在法庭上选择了说实话啊，这一点我也敬他是一条汉子。在11月19号这天呢，陪审团经过了3天半的审议后呢，达成了最终的裁决。
The defendant will rise and face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
The jury, these are unanimous verdicts. Is there anyone who does not agree with the verdicts as read? Would you wish the jury polled?
好的，庭审到这里呢就结束了。能一直看到这里到结尾的观众呢，也都是真爱了啊！感谢大家的支持。这个案子的庭审全加起来能有100个小时左右，光最后的双方的结案陈词呢，就各用了2个半小时啊！这也是我目前见过最长的结案陈词了。我这2个星期呢，用我所有的休息时间来观看庭审的视频呢，大概也看了能有50多个小时左右。最后呢，给大家挑重点总结出来的这2期节目， 光是这一期节目呢，就接近30分钟时长，是我目前做过最长的一期视频了啊。我知道呢，这种视频可能被平台推荐的几率不大啊，但是对我来说呢不重要，我在乎的是呢，能给大家带来一些你们平时可能不知道的一些背后的故事。如果大家觉得能从中，我不敢说学到吧，但是能从中有所收获，我觉得我就是开心的啊。最后呢，再无耻的跟大家要一波点赞和关注啊。也欢迎大家在下面留言区畅所欲言，我希望能听到你们的声音啊。最后呢，祝大家有一个美好的新的一周，我们下周再见，拜拜。
Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.